thinking that would be a really good way to bridge the gap between I'm doing this digital, but here's how I would do it on a piece of paper. Had a walkthrough observation from one of my administrators. As far as I know, it went well. But this is gonna be a different spin on Four Corners. Woo! We're almost to spring break though. Did I mention that? Good morning, everyone. My name is Katie. I'm a third grade teacher in the state of Florida, and you guys are here for a week in my life vlog. It's been a while since I've vlogged with you guys, so let's catch up. It's honestly probably been 2 weeks, maybe even 2.5 weeks since I've picked up the camera to vlog. I kind of did a couple of different videos on my channel for my last uploads. I did an evening routine, and I also did a video all about the technology that I use in my classroom, or just technology that have experience with using in the classroom. So hopefully you're all caught up on those videos, but it's good to be back and vlogging this week. I'm already getting tongue-tied, and it's only like 7:36 in the morning, so we're off to a great start here. I brought my coffee over. If you follow me on Instagram, I made some cute little, like, what is this called? A coaster for a craft night with the girls in my Bible study. So I moved this over here too, so I don't leave rings from my glass cup all over my table. I also need to stir it because some of the milk in the creamer still is not completely mixed in, but I need this coffee to give me life today because I'm tired today. I was more tired yesterday. It's Tuesday today. I was more exhausted yesterday, but I'm still pretty tired today. So I'm gonna need this espresso. So today is Tuesday. It's February the 25th. I did not vlog on Monday because no, I went out of town this past weekend to visit one of my friends. And when I left on Friday, I had tons of stuff. I mean, I worked all day last week on Friday on grading, on planning, on all kinds of things, but I still didn't have my stuff ready for the week. And I usually like to have all my plans written in my planner, all my papers sorted in my drawer, their morning work set out on their desk. So when I come in on Monday, I feel ready, and I did not feel ready yesterday. In fact, I felt like way less than ready. And I didn't have word study things copied. I had to make an emergency trip to the copying machine, which rarely ever happens because I copy things ahead of time. But I pulled out my folder and I was like, I'm out of copies. Like my working ahead has run out. And so it was just a stressful day. And I knew in the morning that I had a lot that I needed to catch up on and a lot I wanted to do in the morning. So I decided not to vlog. So we're here on Tuesday. As far as what we're doing this week, I can't believe it's the last week of February. We finished our unit. I believe the last time I was vlogging, we were working on our unit on summarizing, and we were reading about the Titanic, and they did really, really well on their summary assessment. So I think we've gotten the hang of writing a 3-sentence summary for the most part, which is exciting. And now we're moving on to analyzing characters. Now in my Instagram DMs, somebody asked if I could go over my cabinets and kind of look at the books that we've been using to teach specific skills. So I did add another one to plot and summary. So I'm gonna like pan the camera around and turn it and kind of give you an overview of the cabinets. It's been a while since I've talked about them, so let's look at what's on the cabinets. All right, each section on the cabinet has a header that matches a Florida Best standard, pretty much for the most part. Plot and setting, going over theme, analyzing characters, that includes character perspective and character development throughout a text, descriptive language, finding text features, the author's claim, the central idea, the author's purpose, and then here's all the text structures that we cover in third grade as well. So every time we use a text and I teach a skill using that text as a mentor text, or it's one of our weekly texts from our stories, I print it and I put it up here. I've saved them from the last, I think I did this last year was the first year I did this. So I saved it, or maybe it was 2 years ago. No, I think it was last year. So I saved them all and I laminated them so they're really easy to use. So for example, for plot and setting at the beginning of the year, I did teach this with the Three Little Pigs, but I don't have that up here. But this was our curriculum story that we used. Here was my mentor text from a couple weeks ago. Here was our curriculum story. So anytime I'm talking about plot and setting, I can use my laser pointer and I point up here and I'm like, look, this is what we've done. Remember how we did this with these stories. Same with analyzing characters. This is where we are today. We did it with the last stuff on Market Street. We analyzed CJ in that story. Here he is. And then this was our curriculum story. And then yesterday we read Henry's Freedom Box and we analyzed Henry as a character and talked about his character development throughout the text. Theme, we used Tops and Bottoms. It's a great text to learn about theme. And then we did Why the Sky is Far Away from our curriculum, which was a folktale, and Tops and Bottoms is kind of folktale-y. So that's why I did that. Descriptive language, we did that one around Halloween time. So we had Creepy Crayon for our mentor text. This is our text from our curriculum. Text features, I really only have one. I should put a picture of like the Titanic book that we read up there because it had a lot of text features, but that's the only text we've used to like really analyze text features so far, because instead of using a mentor text, I use a lot of Scholastic News articles for that one. Author's claim, we use I Want to Iguana. These were our curriculum text. Author's purpose, we had some persuade, some inform, and we just used a lot of mentor text for that. We didn't have a curriculum story. Central idea, our curriculum story, I need to get another one. It's coming back up. And then some of our text features, problem and solution we used for these stories. We'll hit chronological order this semester hard with the biographies that we're going to be reading, and compare and contrast and cause and effect we talk about a little bit, but we haven't done like a mentor text for them. So there's my counter right there. So that's one of my favorite spots in my classroom. One, it's kind of like a tracker to track all the books that we've read, which is fun to look at. But two, I use it when I'm teaching almost every day. I use my little laser pointer on my slide clicker and I point up here and I'm like, look, we're analyzing characters. And I've made a really big deal about the second half of third grade. We're going back through the skills. I'm like, the first half, you learned all of these skills for the first time. So we learned plot and setting, and maybe not for the first time, but like for the first time in third grade, we learned plot and setting. We talked about theme. We talked about analyzing characters, and all of those things we did for like the first time. And I'm like, now all we're doing in third grade is we're going back and we're doing all of these skills again. So you can hit it a second time and remember how we did it in the fall and practice it again. But also we're trying to look at the stories in a more holistic way. Like when we did our Charlotte's Web novel study, I was like, look, we're going to have plot and setting. We're going to have characters to analyze. There's going to be descriptive language, and there's going to be themes. All of it together, because it's a fiction text. It has all of these things. So that's really what we've been focusing on. And I just wanted to show that because somebody was interested in some of the texts that I use so far to teach different skills. If you have any texts that you love to use to teach these skills, please drop them in the comments below, because I'm always looking for good mentor text ideas to add to this collection. And if you've got a book that teaches a skill really well, or that you can use to highlight a skill really well, I would love to know, because that would just be amazing. So as far as today goes, let me walk you through our slides for the day. And I think once I do that, you'll have like a good idea of what I'm teaching. Here are our slides for the day. We're going over grammar and prepositions. Then we're going to review vocabulary, go over background knowledge, and then read our weekly text for the week. So we've been working on prepositions. This is with Top Score Writing. I use this song from the Bazillions to teach prepositions. It's very fun, very catchy. Let me skip to the next slide though, because we don't need to watch that. And then we're going to practice circling prepositions in sentences. We've really been focusing on, can we find the nouns and then find the word that relates the two nouns. Then we're going to go over vocabulary, which we wrote yesterday in our vocabulary notebooks. We'll just do a little brief overview because most of our vocabulary review today is going to be done in our text. We are reading Granddaddy's Turn, A Journey to the Ballot Box, so we need to build a little background knowledge and just refresh their memory on the civil rights era and some of the things that were happening during that time with Rosa Parks, Dr. King, things that I know they've learned about before, but it's good to all be on the same page before we read our text, because this takes place during the civil rights era when African Americans did not have the right to vote. And so that's kind of the theme and the message that is explored in this historical fiction text. And that's all we have for day 2. Yep, that's it. That's our whole group lesson today. Now I'm toying around with the idea of adding, we need to do a digital practice every what's this thing called? 9 weeks. We do 2 digital practices online to prepare the students for online testing because our classroom assessments are not online, they're paper-based. And so we do 2 online practices. And since I know that's not gonna take very long today, like maybe that'll take 40 minutes, I would imagine, because the prepositions will honestly be the longest part. We're gonna like review vocabulary. We're just gonna read it and then we're gonna circle it in the story. The background knowledge video is about 5 minutes, and then the weekly text video is only 6 minutes, and I pause it throughout and we talk and discuss things. So it'll probably take us about 10 minutes to read the story. So I'm anticipating that lesson taking about 40 minutes. So I'm considering working on a digital practice after that. And for that digital practice, I think I'm gonna give them a piece of notebook paper and we're gonna practice with like how we would do this with scratch paper and do this one very guided together. I've also been using a resource from the Third Grade Guru. I'm getting up again. It's this wonderful flow chart that shows the different skills that we've learned for fiction and nonfiction. So I'm considering doing this online practice, or at least reading it with them together, like reading it the first time all together, the second time they go back and they read it to themselves. But then we're using these flow charts. I think I've shown them before from the Third Grade Guru on Teachers Pay Teachers. I will link one of her products below. I'm almost positive we talked about this before on the vlog because I remember saying like, I'll link a product with it below. But she's got this flow chart at the beginning of like all of her resources, and we've been using it a little bit with erasers, little Valentine's erasers, because it's February, and we've been taking our erasers and going through the flow chart and answering the questions. Well, the online practice we're doing today is nonfiction. So this is some ways that they can take notes on it. We can write down the title and write down nonfiction. It says identify the topic. What are words that are repeated? So I'd love to go through that with them and have them look at it on the screen and say what are some words that repeated and write down the topic. Then we don't really need to look at the text structure for this one, but like main idea and some details. Like what do we think the main idea is? What does the author want us to know about the topic? And then what are a few details that you thought were important? What was the author's purpose? Was it to persuade, inform, or entertain? And if we can practice writing those things down on a separate piece of paper while they're taking this practice online, and then I let them go and do the questions on their own, I'm thinking that would be a really good way to bridge the gap between I'm doing this digital, but here's how I would do it on a piece of paper. Now I'm thinking to myself, that could be a lot of moving pieces because they're gonna have the computer on their desk and they're gonna have the passage up there, and then they're going to have the chart, or I could pull a chart up on the board and then they don't have to have it. That's what I'll probably do. I'll probably give them their computer and a blank sheet of paper. We will read it together. And then I'll have them read it independently just so they can practice reading from the screen, and just because that's good for them to do. And then we'll practice taking notes, and we'll make a little box on our paper and we will identify the topic and things like that. So I think that's what we'll do because I know I'll have plenty of time, and I have 2 of those online practices that I need to get in, but I want to do them in an effective way that's not just here, do this online practice during your intervention time when you're not working with me in a small group, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think that's what my plan is going to be for my lesson today. That'll be like my number 5 on my list. But yeah, that's all I've got going on, and that's a lot. I'm going to sit and think that through a little bit more because I just added that to my list of things to do. So I'm going to think that through and make sure I'm planned for the day. I have a meeting after school today to go over our writing curriculum stuff, but I'll try to check in sometime before the meeting, and then after the meeting I'm going to the gym. But I'll check in sometime this afternoon and let you know how all of that went. But it's good to be back, and let's get this week started. All right, it is the end of the day on Tuesday. We got through all of our lessons. Oh my goodness. Took us a while, but it's fine. We made it through. Everything on my agenda went fine. The online practice actually went really great. I used the flow chart that I showed you earlier. We took notes on the title. So we wrote our solar system. We wrote that it was nonfiction. We wrote words that we saw repeated over and over again to find the topic. Then we wrote down the main idea, and we said the purpose was to inform us about the planets, the different planets in our solar system. And then I let them do the questions on their own. So we practiced the note taking together, and they did the questions independently. And so that was good practice. I'm glad that we did that. Had a walkthrough observation from one of my administrators. As far as I know, it went well. So hopefully I get good reviews from that walkthrough. I only have to have a few of them per year, and I really never really care when admin comes in here. They're welcome to come in anytime. It doesn't freak me out like it used to. Trying to think if there's anything else. I did intervention groups today with a passage from the 3rd grade guru where we were focusing on character perspective and analyzing characters. I felt like it went really well. We had good discussions about the characters in the text just to practice that skill and practice the questioning types that they'll see on the state test. So now I'm in my room. I'm gonna finish, I just finished grading all the online practices, which was all I needed to grade today. I went today during my planning period to observe a 4th grade teacher just because I was feeling the itch to watch somebody else teach. And so I went to a 4th grade teacher's classroom today. So I'm gonna finish off my to-do list before my writing training and just send her a little thank you email because it was so fun to get to go in and watch somebody else teach and just feel I'd like to see some of the things that she was doing in her classroom that I'm doing, some things that I could do to make my classroom run smoother, and just to watch somebody else do the same job that I'm doing, because it's always encouraging to see that you're not alone, if that makes sense. So I'd really like to do that more often. I might look and see if I can go observe a 2nd grade class as well. I just knew 4th grade was teaching, and I feel like what 4th grade is doing matches a little bit closer to what 3rd grade's doing, and I knew they were teaching while I was having my planning. But end of the year 2nd grade would be a good thing to watch, especially because they're going to be beginning of the year 3rd graders next year. So I might reach out to a 2nd grade teacher maybe when we come back from spring break in the next week and a half, and see if I can go observe them too. So I would highly recommend that if you're a teacher. Schedule, and you have to give up your planning period. Some admin will do it, if you ask your principal, they might even get you a sub and you could do an observation day, because our principal has done that before. Or if you need something specific and you're wanting to observe somebody who's good at something specific, ask your principal and just see. Otherwise, I just reached out on my own and I did it during my planning time. So yes, it took part of my planning time today, but I knew today I wasn't gonna have a lot of papers to grade and things to do during planning. So it was a good day to do it. And it's worth the investment. It was fun to just go sit in another classroom and to learn that way. It was probably better than just twiddling my thumbs after I graded my papers during planning, which I would not actually be twiddling my thumbs. There are things that I need to do to get ahead and to start planning for next week, but I still feel like it was a good investment of my time. So, and that's all I have to say. I'm gonna print some things that I need to copy tomorrow at some point. Maybe I can do that in the morning when I get here. And yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to update you guys on, but I think that's it. I've got my writing training, and then I'm gonna go to the gym this afternoon. So that's all I've got. I will check in with you guys on Wednesday. Good morning and happy Wednesday. I am here nice and early today. I woke up early because I needed to curl my hair, first off, and second off because I just wanted to get some things done when I arrived today. I'm having a sad moment. If you followed me for a while, you know that I used to love to use my mouse to get my slides set up while I was talking to you, and that since changing boards last spring, it hasn't happened, and I'm just having a moment where I'm like, man, I wish my mouse would work and I could pull things up on the board while we chit chat, but it doesn't. And I'm pretty sure I have this one plugged in even. Well, let me turn it on. I think if I'm not mistaken, I have it plugged in, but it wait, now it's working. Oh my gosh, did I figure this out and I just forgot? maybe. Anyways, well, all right, it's working now. The problem was like I had to get an extender for the USB, like because all my USBs were tucked behind the smartboard, so anything that was Bluetooth was not connecting because the smartboard itself was like blocking the connection, if that makes sense. And my clickers, I have two clickers, one that goes to this TV, or one that came with this TV essentially, and one that I've had for my other board, and I can't use both because they both work on both screens. So I just use one. Because having both plugged in didn't work. I don't know, technology, y'all, it's a mess. And I consider myself pretty tech savvy, and I'm still struggling here. But I did just get this mouse to work, so that's kind of exciting. So today I'm gonna go through the slides with you in just a minute. But it's gonna be a fun day, I think. I don't know, I have a team meeting today, so I don't have my planning time. And I didn't have my planning time yesterday. So I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to come in early today and just really feel like I got everything like situated, all my ducks in a row per se. But we're gonna start off with grammar. I'm doing a fun activity for grammar. Let me just show it to you because the slides will be easier for you to see it from. All right, here's our agenda. We've got grammar, vocabulary, weekly text, analyze characters, written response. So our grammar, we're gonna go over like our grammar skill from Top Score Writing. And then we have our preposition song, which they've been liking. This was a freebie from TPT. I'll try to find the product and link it. It's just another way to review prepositions because there's only like a few slides in Top Score about it, and we're doing it for a whole week. So again, it gives the definition of a preposition. It shows the example of a preposition, another example of the preposition. That's a bummer that down there is like covered. I'm gonna have to figure out why this is like the menu bar is still there in presentation mode. I'll figure it out. And another example, here's some examples of prepositions. We're gonna play a game after this that's called Four Corners. I'm sure you've played Four Corners before. But this is gonna be a different spin on Four Corners because instead of like putting the answer or like the question up there and having them pick the corner that has the answer, because then all the students just follow each other to the same corner, what I'm gonna do is before I put the sentence up, I'm gonna have them pick one of the four corners in the room, which I just hung the signs you saw. Corner 1, corner 2, corner 3, corner 4. And there can be no more than 5 people. So 5 people is the max in each corner because I have 17 kids. So I couldn't do 4 in each corner. It's gotta be 5. So 5 is the max in each corner. I'm gonna have them walk. I'll probably turn on music or something. And like while the music is on, I'll have them walk around the room or have them dance around the room, or I might have them do the gritty around the room, something like that, tiptoe around the room. And then when the music pauses, they go to a corner. Then I'm gonna show one of the questions that's up on the board, and I'll show you that now. So I'll show this sentence that says, the pie in the oven is my brother's. And each corner has a different word in the sentence. So corner 1 is pie, corner 2 is oven, corner 3 is in, and corner 4 is brothers. I labeled them just for clarity. And they have to talk with their group about whether they think their corner is the preposition or not. So their answer needs to be like, yes, our word is the preposition in the sentence because, or no, our word is not the preposition in the sentence because. So it won't take up like way too much time, but I think it'll get them up and moving for grammar. And I also learned that at Get Your Teach On when I was in Joanne Miller's classroom, like when you do 4 corners, to have the students, if they're not in the correct corner, to have to justify like or explain why their corner is not correct, because it encourages all of them to have conversations and meaningful conversations. Like for that sentence about the pie, like, well, our corner is not the preposition because pie is a noun. So there you go, you're reviewing grammar pieces even though your corner wasn't the correct corner, if that makes sense. So that's our grammar. After grammar, we're gonna review our vocabulary for this week. I showed this to you yesterday. We're gonna reread our weekly text, and we're gonna analyze the character's actions, thoughts, and feelings for the main character, which is the little boy in the text. We're gonna pick some character traits that we would say describe the boy, and then we're gonna do some writing. So we're gonna pick one character trait from the beginning, and the evidence is going to have to be some kind of action, thought, or feeling from the text, and one character trait from the end, and the evidence is an action, thought, or feeling from the text. And then we're going to do a writing where we can say at the beginning the boy was blank because, and at the end the boy was blank because, and fill in the blank. And that's all we got. So that's pretty much our day in a nutshell. I'll check in with you at the end of the day. Hopefully, I don't have afternoon duty, but I am going to a gym class at 4:30. So I'll check in sometime before that gym class this afternoon, and then I have a dinner this evening with some of David's coworkers. So all of that to say, it's going to be a busy day, but I'll check in and let you know how that went. But happy Wednesday, everybody. All right, we made it to the end of Wednesday. I'm grabbing a piece of chocolate because that's where I'm at for today. I just need a Kit Kat. Sometimes you just need a Kit Kat. It was not a bad day. Let me pause this and get seated at my desk. In fact, it started out pretty great. Like, my lesson went swimmingly with block 1. The grammar activity was fun. There were great conversations with the, what's it called? Four corners activity. They were like, oh, well, my word can't be the preposition because this is an example of a noun, or this is a verb, so this isn't the preposition. It was golden. And then just everything went swimmingly with block 1. Block 2 was a different story. It was a little bit more touch and go. I knew they were going to be a little bit wilder with the grammar game. So, and then some of them just, I was like, okay, if you're just standing there and you're dancing in the corner when the music stopped, like, I'm going to send you back to your desk because you're not doing the activity and you're not talking about the grammar, which is the whole point. And I gave them plenty of time to dance and move around about the room. And the focus just was not there when we were going through the text. It wasn't there. But I had to remind them multiple times to stop drawing on the paper while we were reading. But we needed our pencils out because we were taking notes, so it was tough. But we did get some good writing done. I'll insert a picture here of the sentences we wrote, and we compared one character from the beginning to the end. They're going to do it again tomorrow with the other character with a partner. So hopefully they'll be able to emulate what we did today on their own tomorrow. Hopefully. But yeah, I'm just going to sit here and eat this Kit Kat and take a deep breath because it was a very overwhelming day. I'm going to a bounce class, so that'll help with the overwhelmingness, but I'm really tired. And I'm like warm because it's starting to get warm again in the state of Florida. So tired and warm is not a good combination, but that's okay. We're going to go bounce, and then we're going to dinner with David's coworkers. So I don't have to pay for my dinner, but I do have to make small talk. And I'd really rather just lay on the couch and do absolutely nothing. But that's not an option for me tonight. And that's okay. That's okay. But that's all I got for today. I'm going to wind down, go to the gym, get changed, all of those things, and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow for Thursday. Good morning and happy Thursday. It is almost 8 o'clock. I haven't checked in. I've been working on stuff this morning, getting copies and things together, and I'm ordering Chick-fil-A for the team today. So I was getting everybody's orders written down and all of those good things. But now I'm ready to chit chat. I'm not even going to show you my slides today because they are exactly the same as yesterday. So if you want to know what we're doing today, rewind and rewatch yesterday's slides. The only thing that's different is yesterday we analyzed the little boy in the story, and today we're going to analyze the granddaddy in the story. I ended up printing, and I don't know if I showed this to you yesterday, I ended up printing out the slides that we used on the board. Let me fold students' names so they're not there. Here's what the slides looked like. I ended up just printing these slides, and it worked great. They had to write their character trait. We found our evidence from the text. It was wonderful. And then on the back side, I just had them fold it and we flipped it over and we wrote at the beginning, the boy was blank because blank. At the end, he was blank because blank. So today I'm going to have them do it again. And this time they're going to work in partners and they're going to analyze granddaddy and find his actions, thoughts, and feelings. And then they're going to have to pick a trait from the beginning and pick a trait from the end and find their evidences. So I think I'll probably like let them do their partner reading and their analyzing of Granddaddy for a while, and then I'll bring them all back together to their seats, and then I'll put all the character traits up on the board so they can go ahead and pick what they want for the beginning and the end and work on finding their evidences and writing their sentences. So I think this went really well though. They had great conversations on the slide that I showed you yesterday where it had all the character traits listed. I think they have really good conversations about those where they're saying like, oh, well, I think he was thoughtful because he remembered his granddaddy at the end of the story. And I think the conversations have been, how many times have I said conversations? I think they've been great. And then the same with the grammar game. I loved hearing them chit chat in their corner about the grammar. And so I went ahead and typed up a couple more sentences so we can play that game again today. I was going to have them go back to whiteboard practice one more time, but I figured let's just play that grammar game again because they really liked it. And then I don't have to really go over the rules this time because they already know how to play. I think with my second class though, I will just have to remind them that they need to tone it down and not be as wild, and then be a little bit more like, sit, you're out for this round because you were sprinting across the classroom, things like that. But yeah, that's all we've got for our Thursday today. I have a bar class this afternoon, so I'm going to try to, after I drop my kids off, I don't have duty this week, I'll have it again next week. So after I drop them off, I'll try to come back, get all my ducks in a row as good as I can, and then go to bar. And then we have a STEAM night tonight for the school. I haven't decided yet. Last year I volunteered and I like helped with setup, and not with setup, I helped with like all of the event and then the takedown afterwards. I didn't volunteer for it this year, and I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna go or not. I'm usually one to go to school events, like just as a tip, participate in your school events. It's very good practice, but this is my only night because I had Bible study on Monday. Tuesday I had something. What did I have going on Tuesday? I think I'd have to like go back and watch the vlog to figure out what I had going on, because there was something Tuesday night. Maybe it'll come to me. Maybe it was just a late night because I had a training after school on Tuesday. That's what it was. I had a training after school on Tuesday, and then I went to a late gym class, and then I came home. Anyways, I guess I just got home late from the gym. And then yesterday I had the gym, and then I had that dinner with David's coworkers, which was fine. So, and tomorrow David's having guys over at the house, so I'm going to hang out with some of their wives and some of the ladies from my Bible study. So I'm like, tonight might be my only night to just be me at home after I finish bar. But I don't know if I'm going to take it, because I think I might come back up here to do like photos and videos because I help with the school social media. So if I come to the STEAM night, it'll be just for a little bit and not for the whole time like I did last year. That was a very big, long ramble about the busyness of my week. But it's just been a really busy last the last week and this week, and then next week's going to be busy too. So woo, we're almost to spring break though. Did I mention that? Spring break is 7 teaching days away, including today. So we're getting really, really close. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna update you guys on this morning, because again, my day looks exactly like yesterday. It's like a copy paste of what we did. So I'll let you know. Hopefully it goes as well. Yesterday was like pretty decent. Hopefully it goes just as well as yesterday did. And I'll check in with you guys this afternoon. All right, you guys, I have not been a great vlogger this week, but I'm ending my vlog here. It's Friday. It's like 5:15. I need to head home because I'm going to play pickleball with some friends at 6, and I need to go home and change. But I stayed late today, first off, to tear down all of the paper as you saw in the hallway. Gingerbread is gone. It's been up since December, so it was time for it to go because it's March officially. I'm wearing my this class Shamrocks shirt. I will link the Instagram store below if you want to get, I don't think you can get this one because she did it as like a pre-order, but if you want to look at her like teacher tees and merch because they're great. I stayed really late and I vacuumed and Swiffered all of this because I just was like, oh my gosh, it just felt really dirty. The kids have had muddy shoes. They've been tracking stuff in. So I spent a long time deep cleaning. I also rearranged the desks a little bit. Instead of just having desk, and like a rectangle block, I spun the outer two. I have done this before in the past. I just was feeling like we needed to kind of mix it up. I don't know if you can tell. So now they're kind of in a T shape, except for this one, because this is like my one big desk and I can't fit I could probably fit 3 T's in the back row. I just don't know what I would do with the extra desk that's not in a T unless I like put it in front. So like if I flipped those two to be a T and then I put an empty desk up there that nobody sat in and I just had it backwards. I'm just gonna play around with it because I'm rearranging their seating chart anyways for the 4th 9 weeks later. So I was like, let me try this format. I've done it before. I just was feeling like we needed to face a different direction and do something new that wasn't totally revolutionary. I changed my calendar to March. I even cleaned my affirmation mirror. I vacuumed all of the tile and Swiffered all of the tile. And oh my gosh, it feels so good. It feels so good to have that like vacuumed and Swiffered. I cleaned off my table, yada, yada. So the only thing I haven't really done is I haven't lesson planned for next week. I mean, I have my plans done, but I haven't like sat and let me prop you guys up on my water bottle. I haven't like actually sat and done the plans in my planner and like spaced it out in my planner. So I still need to do that, but I'm just gonna have to do that this weekend. I have a couple other things that I want to do this weekend at a coffee shop to work on to get ahead. I graded a ton of stuff. It's Friday. I didn't check in yesterday either. I'm telling you, I've been a slacker at vlogging, and since it's been so long, I like will do something. I'm like, I didn't even pick up my camera to get B-roll footage of that, and so I'm sorry. It is what it is. But this is how the vlog is going this week. 5 more teaching days until spring break, if that tells you anything. Because it's been nuts. But I'm going to close off the vlog here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next videos. I'm really tired, but as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.